You know, technology is hard. Running a business is hard. Having a job is hard. Just doing your job. And what makes it harder is when somebody launches a social engineering attack against your company and they're successful. But what is social engineering? So let's talk about it. All right, this week's all about social engineering. Actually, this month's all about social engineering. So today we're just going to kind of cover what is social engineering, the top types of social engineering attacks that you might see, and then in the next couple of weeks we're going to cover things like what does it look like, how do you prevent it, how do you actually handle it in your business. But first, we have to understand what is social engineering. Okay, by definition, social engineering is all about manipulating somebody to give them confidential information. Now, it could be more than one person, but let's just say one person. So somebody that's mastered this technique is going to gain your trust and trick you into giving up information. And the reason it works is because our natural tendency as humans is to trust people. And that's what they try to exploit. All right, before we really talk about types of social engineering attacks, I think it's important to understand how attack actually works. There's 4 phases to almost every social engineering attack. The first one is investing. And that's where the attacker is trying to identify the people that person wants to attack, and then also what data are they actually trying to extract from those victims. Number 2 is the hooking phase. Now during that, the attacker actually starts engaging with the victim and trying to figure out how to create the most level of trust through effective messaging. Number 3 is the attacking phase, and that's actually where they deploy their attack to the end user and try to get their data. Try to get whatever information that they're trying to gain through this attack. And number 4 is the exiting phase, and that's where they try to clean up their tracks, try to make sure they get out of the attack, remove as many traces as they can, whether they use malware, phishing, or whatever, and then move on. So because social engineering's the entire strategy is built on trust, victims often don't even recognize that they were taken advantage of until it's too late. So now let's talk about a couple of examples of social engineering and what it looks like. So for today's video, I'm only really going to cover 3 social engineering attacks. It's going to be phishing, vishing, and smishing. And yes, those sound ridiculous, but first let's get into phishing. What is phishing? Phishing is when you get an email and it's trying to get you to give up information. Now, for the most part, it could be something like your username and password for Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace or some website. Usually it'll be some sort of urgency that they have that they want, that you need to take action on, and you fill out some form, boom, they get your creds and they move on. Now, if we move on to vishing, that's voicemail phishing. So that's where you'll get those voicemails from like the IRS, right? Saying, oh my God, if you don't do this, we're going to put you in jail, blah, 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 and they call me back, and then they're going to try to get you to give up credit card information, bank account, stuff like that. And smishing is just text message phishing. It's SMS, MMS. So it's going to be something like you're going to get a text from somebody saying, hey, this is your boss. I need you to send me gift cards, blah, 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 blah. And it's really not your boss. It's just somebody trying to get you to send them something. So those are 3 examples of social engineering. I'll put more on the screen so you can see them. There's a lot more to it than that. And maybe we'll cover those in a future video, but those are the examples that are important for you to understand. Now, let's move on to a couple of attacks that you may have heard of and kind of relate back. I think the number one social engineering attack that we should really talk about was in Twitter in 2020, when a teenager from Florida tricked them into giving him access to a back-end support system and allowed him to hack all those accounts. And what did he do? He posted about, if you send me some Bitcoin, I'll double it and send it back to you. And they got Joe Biden, they got Barack Obama, I think they got Bill Gates, Elon Musk. They got tons of people with this scam. Like they hacked their Twitter accounts and then put it out there, and people sent them money. Now, luckily, it got shut down pretty quickly. But the way the person got access to that tool in the back end with Twitter was simply social engineering. That's all they did. Another good example is in 2020, Barbara Corcoran, that's with Shark Tank. She got tricked into a phishing and social engineering scheme, and she almost lost $400,000 because her assistant was impersonated by cyber criminals, and they had emailed a bookkeeper and asked for a renewal payment for real estate investments. And then what they did is they used a fake email and they tried to change like where the payment went. So those are two really good examples of how social engineering attacks work, what they gain access to. But really for like you and I, for most businesses, they're going to try to get business email compromise. They're going to try to get access to an email address. They're going to try to do certain things. So one of the most vicious attacks that we've seen recently is they gained access to somebody's account and they actually got their direct deposit changed. They actually had a fake image of a check with the same routing number and account number that they sent to HR, and they got that changed. So that's insane. That's one of probably the worst phishing that we've seen, where they actually gained access to the account, compromised the account, and they actually had their bank account information changed for direct deposit. So the next couple of weeks, we're going to go through additional attacks, things that happen, what you can do as a business owner to kind of protect yourself against that. What I want to do here is lay the groundwork for the upcoming month and understand that we're going to talk social engineering all month long. It's going to be all over social media, and we want to be out there to educate you and kind of show you what's happening out there and then what you can do to protect your business. So if you like this content, hit the like button, comment, please, and subscribe or follow us. Depends on where you're at in social media. And until next time, stay cyber safe.